All right, Grixis Shadow. This is one of the better decks in Modern. It's got had a variety of success for a little while. This is a definitely would play more Leylines first. Just Leyline's the more powerful card. That Phoenix deck isn't a purely linear Phoenix deck, so you just want to be more interactive. If you just want a linear people, play the blue-red build. So this build, what do we have going on here? So this is this is my kind of preferred iteration of Grixis Shadow. There's a couple of cheeky things in here because I think there's room to do cheeky things in this build. The first thing you'll note is that I've got a pair of Mausoleum Secrets in my deck. And I really like this card because I feel like it helps solve one of the problems that Grixis Shadow tends to have, which is you tend to lack threat density in a lot of spots. So Mausoleum Secrets, along with just cycling Street Wraith, lets you find a copy of Death Shadow, which is nice. This card also has a little bit of utility that it can find other useful black cards. It can find Fatal Push, discard spells, Kolaghan's commands, post boards. It can find Surgical Extractions or your different copies of Liliana. I've also got cheeky Thief of Sanity and Fulminator Mage in my sideboard, which can be found with Mausoleum Secrets. Those are just like individually reasonable cards. So, one other thing that you'll note in this build that's different from a lot of the popular builds is I'm not a huge fan of the Mishra's Bauble configurations that are like trying to cheat on lands to get Gurmag Angler to play slightly faster that way. I think I'd rather just play an 18th land and an extra 1 mana cantrip rather than trying to like have a wider range of hands and hoping to rip your second land off a bauble. I really hate like keeping like the Thought Scour Bauble 1 land hand and just like bricking and not getting to play Magic. So let's go ahead and dive on in here, shall we? Yeah, be luckier is good. Is always good Magic advice. Oh, matchmaking failed. Come back, opponent. Why 4 anglers and not 1 Tassiger? Because 5 points of power is more than 4 points of power. Yeah, you're almost never activating Tassiger, and while there are spots where like you can get it into play faster because it's 1 less delve, it's like not ideal. Do I eat ranch with my pizza? Yeah. Actually, there's a chain called Monocle's Pizza that has a couple of places in Bloomington where I live, and they sell it's not quite Thousand Island, but it's like Thousand Island adjacent dressing that's really good with pizza. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, this is a tower. Yeah, we're probably still dead. We're like maybe slightly less dead because that's a tower and not the third drawn piece, but still not a good scene for us regardless. Huh. don't think any of these planeswalkers are good. I've got 2 slots here. Do I want to braid? I could board in the surgicals for the cheeky Thought Scours. I also have a Fulminator Mage, so like I could reasonably Fulminator them and then surgical their thing. I'm gonna bring in the surgical. Surgical's like a way to pay life to get Death Shadow bigger faster. And it lets me put a card into my graveyard for free to delve my Gurmag Angler out ASAP. Yep. Abrade destroys an artifact for 2 mana. It also does 3 damage to a creature. It's a shame Abrade can't... If Abrade could kill Karn, I would board it in. But the fact that it doesn't means that I don't think we do. This hand's great. You get to play a turn 2 Death Shadow. Oh, would you look at that? My opponent mulligan to nothing. Alright, well, I got a freebie, they get a freebie. Did they concede? Are they conceding? Yay, modern! Yay, magic! Alright, so we've had 2 turn 1 concessions on to game 3. Onward, upward, backward, forward. I gave them a freebie, they gave me a freebie. You know. High skill, low variance game. I think this hand's not good enough. It doesn't have any discard spells in it. The secrets are currently blanks with the way this hand is set up, but I don't have a way to get Gurmag Angler into play. This hand needs another land, but I'm on the draw, and I've got a ton of quality disruption, so I'm going to keep this. Ditch the secrets for now. I mean, the game's ended every other time Thoughtseize has been cast so far, so maybe we'll keep that up. That's a land. That's excellent. Can't believe it's been 6 months since MTGA Open Beta. Here's to many more months of great magic. Hey, Alec, it really has been that long, hasn't it? Thanks for the half year, and I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic middle of your week. Sorry, yeah, it's still like start-ish of the week. Do I want to Thoughtseize first? If I Thoughtseize first, it means if I draw another Thoughtseize next turn, I can play Death Shadow. I think I'm supposed to Inquisition first to take their cheaper cards. So if I draw a fetch next turn, I can... If I draw a fetch next turn, I can fetch Thoughtseize Death Shadow. Street Wraith would be the best possible draw. Opponent hit their best possible draw, second drawn piece. So, really hoping to draw a fetch land or a shock land next turn. Need to get my clock into play ASAP, because I need to pressure them while we disrupt them, especially now that they have all their bombs are available to them. Yeah, probably dead. Depends on how good the top of their deck is. We've got their first threat covered. The second one's gonna get us though. Oh, all right. Well, their last card is a forest. Come on, fetch land. Come on, fetch land. Yay, magic. So for those that are new to Magic or not familiar with Death Shadow, it dies if you have 13 or more life, so you need to get down to at least 12 before it does anything. Yeah, right, and like my opponent's deck just like has so many chances to find things, right? Like the Star draws a card, this Relic draws a card. I guess we were due for some rancid games of Modern today, right? Yesterday was like 4 great leagues in a row. So we were due for a couple of stinkers. That's how cumulative variance works, right? Alright, so I'm going to K-Command, shatter this, make them discard a card. And then I'm going to hope they brick off for 2 turns while I play 3 Death Shadows out. I got an Ulamog out of their hand. They drew another O-Stone. Yikes. I mean, like, they haven't drawn a Karn to make us concede yet. So, like, we've got that going for us. Do I take the fetch or do I take the Faithless Looting? The Faithless Looting could turn into a fetch, right? I think I take the Faithless Looting. Recall into Thoughtseize. Yeah, maybe that's better. I didn't think about that. I think you're right. Recall into Thoughtseize would have been the better line. I agree with your assessment. Yay, Demonic Tutor. Can I concede now? I assume I'm losing one of these two. Really? Okay. Huh. Yeah, sometimes, zombie guy. It's really a thing that happens on occasion. And like, if they blow up the O-Stone here, I get to draw a card. Because their Thoughtseize dies. Alright, need like 2 more bricks out of them. That's a brick. They played a land that I didn't know about. No, the Karn comes with the Worm Coil, is the issue. There's a Sanctum of Ugin here. In Anime, thank you for the 12-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I know their last card's a land, so I just need one more brick out of them. Sweet. Yep. And this is why I played the third Shadow out, because it plays around Thoughtseize, so they're dead. Alright. Recall ended up being really good. Opponent ended up being unlucky for us to ultimately win, but Recall allowed us to capitalize on them being unlucky. It's like butt cheeks clenched, dodging, just sweating bullets there. So there were a ton of different Reddit posts of people comparing the Hearthstone numbers to Arena numbers when Arena was like first pushing out, and like people applauding Arena being over Hearthstone in the total numbers. I'm gonna be interested to see how their pre-release for War of the Spark numbers look today, because the latest Hearthstone set just came out, and they eclipsed like 140,000 concurrent viewers during their pre-release event. So I'm curious to see if what Arena's doing comes close to that. I assume it's not going to, but it'll be an interesting to dry comparison. Yeah, maybe, Bright. I think them blowing up Ostone in response still left us in an okay spot, though. Yikes, that was a good draw. It means I can't Fatal Push this anymore. Our one main deck K-Command's a good draw. If I Thoughtseize myself, I still can't play Gurmag Angler this turn. I plan on hitting 140k concurrent viewers on my own today. God bless Matthew. Alright, that's another land. So I think I just pushed the Arcbound Ravager here to force them to use the Welding Jar. And the reason why I want to push it now is because if I wait to push it till their turn, they might hold the Welding Jar to just put the Ravager counters onto the Ink Ball. So I want to push it now. Their hand is Land War Reborn plus Inkmoth Nexus at the moment. Double Thoughtseize looking a little awkward here. Excited to have a pair of Abrades in my sideboard for this matchup. I think I just want to put my threat into play here. Huh. I milled a Shadow and a Fish there. So this K-Command might pick one of those back up. That's a Welding Jar. It's annoying. Curtin Shi, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's not how graft works. I think I'm gonna shatter the Arcbound Ravager plus pick back up a threat next turn. Anyone see the possibility of people with Twitch Prime getting a free deck in Arena? I did not. You have a link, Kuntz? Let's get some good crossover marketing. And now the key part about regenerations, one of the many things that makes it confusing, is that this taps the Arcbound Ravager. I'm actually dead here if they try and put counters on the Ballista, right? Because it cost me 5 life to dismember it, which puts me to 4. Was that the best draw in my deck? I think that was the best draw in my deck. So I'm going to be dead to another Ballista regardless, right? Is it crazy to just go to 2 and play Death Shadow here? I think I want to go to 2 and play Death Shadow. So I can pay 2 and go to 6, and then they're going to shoot me for 4 to 2. I guess I'm technically not dead to another Walking Ballista if I pay mana. I think I want to get my Shadow down this turn. Could you imagine how not close this game would be if these Thoughtseizes were just cards that had text? They were just like cards that played to the board. They would need 1 more land, Tom, or 3 more lands. I guess they could pump it up though. Wow, they left me at 3, which means a Ballista off the top is not lethal, so thanks. I got like the best of both worlds because they didn't put me to 2. Temur Battle Rage is lethal next turn, so I can Thoughtseize to make my thing a 12/12. Magic's a tough game. This gives them Walking Ballista as an out though. No, they're at 16 and this is only 14. So I'm dead to Walking Ballista. They have three Ballistas in their deck. The chump block here is bad because it takes away their out of Ancient Stirrings into Walking Ballista. Having played this matchup from the Scales side of the board a couple of times, I think this matchup is not good for Scales. Death Shadow now maxes out at 13-13. Once upon a time, it used to go bigger than that, but that's no longer the rules. Once upon a time, it could be bigger than 13-13. That's no longer the case. I think this is not a matchup that's about threat density from Mausoleum Secrets, so I think I get to trim that here because it's a little bit slow. Is it crazy to cut some of my discard spells? I feel like I want to cut some of my discard spells in this matchup. This could also be an okay Last Hope matchup. I feel like some amount of discard and or Stubborn Denial could go here. I think Brutality's too slow. I think this is too slow, even though it kills creature lands. They don't really have that many meaningful non-creature spells. I think I like this. Where do we end up on? Where do we end up on Last Hope? A lot of their stuff is bigger than X1 a lot of time, right? I think Last Hope is not quite good enough. I think I'm gonna submit like this. They have too many mediocre creatures for Liliana to be able to be good. That sounds great. Oh, Darksteel Citadel against Hurkyl. Darksteel Citadel versus Hurkyl's Recall. Go. I want to prioritize leading on my fetch lands as opposed to just the shocks, because the fetches fill my graveyard faster for Gurmag Angler, which is ideal. Huh? I think I just take the Thought Scour, right? Just want to, like, get on the board ASAP here. Thought Scour lets me play Fish next turn. And, like, I can recall the turn after and then, like, tempo them with Abrade as well. And, like, this just, like... Normally, this activating is, like, really terrifying. But because I have Hurkyl's Recall, it's really not scary. You could maybe make the argument that because we saw Dismember game 1, that I'm supposed to wait to play the big fish. I'm going to wait a turn to play the big fish since I drew the Thoughtseize. Deal. The Hurkyls is gonna be great. Yep. In fact, I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna shatter the Hangerback Walker and then Hurkyls to clear the tokens that they're gonna make. Is what's gonna end up happening here. Sure. Destroy that one. And, like, they're still at 20, but, like, I have, like, Stubborn Denial and Dismember and stuff like that, too. So we got plenty going on. Probably going to stub the animation module on the way back down, just because it makes a lot of friends. Although, it's really appealing to just play that. This is almost lethal next turn, right? If I draw a Street Wraith or a Fetch Land, I could potentially kill them. Because Dismember gives +4/+4. Fetch Land gives +5/+5. They're at 15. I have 10 already. So yeah, looking for a way to hurt myself next turn so I can get this going. Stone Raining Glimmer Voids with Hurkyl is kind of the best. So they have double Steel Overseer and then 2 cards I don't know. Sure. So they have 2 Steel Overseers, so they're dead because I have Fatal Push. Is this song on the list of songs you hum? I have no idea if it's there or not, actually. I think it's just like generic circus music. Could have stubbed the scales too, because still had all these. You're right. I could have. Is that the chicken dance? Yeah, it is the chicken dance. I'm kind of glad these leagues are clipping along today because I was live for almost exactly 10 hours yesterday and we played 5 decks in 10 hours. Just like we had 2 leagues, I think, go past 2.5 hours. They were some long, they were good leagues. Like the Bant Eldrazi and Jeskai Blade League were both like quality matches of Magic, but good golly, were they long. Getting to run people down feels pretty good. How much of that is the format / deck and how much of it is Moto? It's definitely both, look, no numbers. I don't know that I really have objective metrics. Jeskai Blade's like a slow-ish deck, though, too, on a slow client. We played a bunch of Jace Mirrors with the Jeskai deck, which did not help. Just infinite Jace Mirrors. Alright. Please don't be playing Bird. Please don't be playing Bird. Please don't be playing Bird. I put Bant Eldrazi back in, actually, Mueller. I like that deck a lot. Yikes. Alright, well, we're taking Faithless Looting. I guess I got my wish of not burn. This build does not have a lot of tools for Dredge, but I think the Dredge matchup is bad anyways, so you should just try and punk them. I quit. Alright, next match. Do you see there? That turn was an indicator that we were not lucky enough to win that match, and you have to get lucky to beat Dredge with a deck like this. So I'm just going to save myself the heartache and move along to the next one. If you like hit a mix of like surgicals and meaningful stubs and discard spells and like your Temur Battle Rage at a key moment, you can win that matchup. It's just not easy. That was fantastic content. we aim to please, Matthew. Yeah, you gotta try and punk them. Yep, that's you know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk and when to run. Oh, why are both my basics in my opener? I think this is a keep, but I'm just like not happy about it. I think I go Island Scour myself on one. And then I can Sleight plus Looting after. So you'll notice there's like a Miser Looting in this deck. And that's because our deck doesn't really have graveyard synergy, but in the mid to late game, Looting can provide a lot of card selection, like shift through your extra lands, which is nice. Yeah, I think Bant Eldrazi is becoming my... This last edition was the first time I've actually put it in the queue myself, so Baker added it a few times. It was the person who had originally sent it in. So, but it's definitely been solidly growing on me. Hopefully we get to Soft Stub and Ancient Stirrings or Sylvan Scrying here. It's a little awkward that I have to choose between red or a second black. Obviously, I need the red with the Battle Rage and the Looting in my hand, but this deck does prefer black mana to blue generally. One threat, please. Gurmag Angler. Death Shadow. That's technically a threat, I guess. I think I'm actually going to lead on Faithless Looting here, because I drew this Death Shadow, I'd like to find a shock or a fetch land so I can, like, get to the shadow sooner. Perfect. Is it? Hey, Bert, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Is it crazy to ditch the Temur Battle Rage here? Is it crazy to ditch the Temur Battle Rage here? You think I want to get rid of the stub? I don't have a lot of black mana is the issue. I still can't cast the Shadow. I think I need to Thoughtseize them this turn. Like, if they have Natural Tron and only one threat, I need to take it away from them. I'm definitely keeping the Thoughtseize. I think I'm ditching this. It might be right to ditch the Shadow, honestly. Nah, that can't be right. I'm going to ditch the Swamp. And let's just draw a fetch land next turn. If I draw a fetch or a Black Shock next turn, I get to go Shadow plus Angler. They have Natural Tron and they have one threat. Thanks for the Karn. We could just die here. If they do the Tron thing and rip it off the top, we are dead. But I think this is our best chance to win. What's going on, Splinter Tom? Welcome to Hoaglandia. Alright. All things considered, like, we definitely had worse draws in our deck than that. I mean, they could rip a Worm Coil off the top here and, like, dumpster us still. Or Ulamog, yeah, right? They could get Ulamogged. But, like, we're just hoping they draw cards. And, in fact, because I have double Stubborn Denial here, I'm going to be stubbing spheres, stars, any sorts of cantrips, basically. Just because this is a card that could draw a card that I can't Stubborn Denial. Quasicode, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. I guess that's unsurprising, but gets me low enough to, and this is coming back to that, you know, I wish I had double black because I can't deploy Death Shadow this turn. The Sanctum of Ugin is good here for them because it means if they have Karn and I stub it, they still get another threat. Or if they have Ugin and I stub it, they drew an Ulamog. We getting Ulamogged or are we getting Walking Blessed? Either way, it triggers Sanctum of Ugin, so we're dead. Yep. I guess I could draw Thoughtseize. Maybe I should wait and see if I draw Thoughtseize. But if I draw Thoughtseize, I'm then dead to the Walking Ballista still, so it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Yeah. Dismember and Fatal Push out. Recall, Stroke, Rejection, Fulminator Mage, Surgical End, what I did last time. Maybe the Abrade is good enough. Last time the Recall was good and just keeping them off of O-Stone was good. Maybe the Abrades are better than the Surgicals. I could see that. Let's try this. I don't know exactly what I want the last 2 slots to be. Last time we played, I had Surgical and we didn't draw them, and this time I have Abrade. Could go either way. One black fetch, please. All right. Gotta risk it for the biscuit sometimes, chap. Gotta risk it for the biscuit. Don't tell me how to live my life, Brian. Oh, Tron things. Fetch land. Ew. All right, we're running good. We're running good so far. All right, I think I just played Gurmag Angler here, huh? Because I have the recall. I think I played Gurmag Angler. If they hit a star or a sphere, they can Thragtusk me next turn, which sucks. But I think they're pretty likely to want to stick the Worm Coil while I'm tapped out. I could snap Thoughtseize them, but that hits them to 13. I could snap Thoughtseize and take the Thragtusk, which forces them to Worm Coil. That's probably better, huh? I think that's better. Morning, Nivik. I think we're okay here, right? Because they play an artifact this turn, I recall whatever it is, and then I rejection whatever they play the following turn, and then I kill them on my 5, right? So their 3 is play something that gets recalled. So, like, this is getting bounced. The Hurkyl's recall has just been the biggest MVP today. And then regardless of what they cast here, it's colorless, right? Because Worldbreaker is devoid, so it still gets rejected. So they need, like, to draw a Thragtusk here. So they have O-Stone, Worldbreaker, Wormcoil, Forest, and then 2 cards I don't know. All right. So are we good? You have 1 card I don't know, or you did? Both the recall and rejection have been really good. If I was expecting to play against a lot of Tron with this deck, I would play more of those cards. In fact, I might even argue that, like, your chance against Dredge is low enough that maybe cut the Surgicals. But the Surgicals also play against the Phoenix decks, which are winnable matchups, so they're probably worth keeping. Hey, Detroit. Thanks for the support. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. I feel like I want either 1 more rejection or 1 more... I feel like I want 1 more rejection or 1 more recall on my board. And maybe the second Mausoleum Secrets is unnecessary. Like, I could slide the Last Hope into the main deck, cut the second Secrets. Because, like, Last Hope is, like, kind of a threat. This is a speculative hand that we could not hit on and lose. But I think it's worth keeping. Alright, my opponent has Tron and nothing else, so the fact that I can't cast my threats here is going to be a big deal. Hoping for blue mana. Fetch lands, please. Yeah, we were bound to miss, like, keeping a hand like this eventually, right? This is the part where they Karn or Wormcoil us next turn. Thoughtseize yourself to fuel Delve. We're still pretty far off of that. Didn't matter if we had a land because we were dead. Yay! Magic! Yay! Watered! Onward, onward, upwards, backward, forward. If you're using a Twitch Prime sub, you have to manually renew it. If you're using a sub that you paid for via credit card or PayPal, it should auto-renew automatically unless you turned it off. Ugh, the having our 2 basics in this hand is really awkward, but the spells are good, so I think I keep it. There's like some appeal to taking their opt here, but I might just soft stub their opt next turn if they don't do it aggressively. They're like island pass. I'm probably gonna go island, stub your thing. Or just playing Hallowed Fountain, that makes sense too. Looking to not draw more fatal pushes. This card likely doesn't have text in this matchup. The fact that we've drawn both of our basics against blue-white control is extra bad. Like, not only does it make it so we can't get these Death Shadows into play, like, if both of these had been fetch lands, I could play 2 Shadows this turn. But to top it off, I now don't have basics in my deck to get when they Path to Exile or Field of Ruin me. In fact, I might concede here to conceal information. I feel like we're pretty far behind. And I'm unlikely to catch up. And I gain... We don't really look like Death Shadow right now. I think this is a tactic. I think if I was playing in a tournament match of Magic, I should concede here to conceal information. Assuming my opponent doesn't know what I'm playing. Like, obviously, if it's late into the tournament, they know what we're on. It's a different story. I think that is a reasonable concession. So Fatal Push is an easy cut here. I like Stroke coming in. Yeah, Collective Brutality is probably not good enough. I'm not sure where I land on Last Hope. Last Hope might not be good enough in this matchup. They have a tendency to, like, exile a lot of our threats. Although she can pick Street Wraith back up, which is meaningful. She's probably better than Kolaghan's command, huh? Because she's a threat on her own. I think I like this. You could maybe make an argument for Engineered Explosives for purposes of clearing Rest in Peace off the table, but I think there's also a low chance they have Rest in Peace in against us unless they were like watching the stream and know what we're on. There's learn how to play the game, and there's learn how to play the game. This is a mulligan, right? No cantrips, 1 land. We can never cast Karn/Ugin off of Thief. I have 7 mana producing lands in my deck, thank you. I have 5 shock lands. I think I just ditched that. And this is a good example of why there's only one Faithless Looting, right? Like, Faithless Looting is a much more fair card when you're not abusing graveyard synergies. And our deck is very much not abusing graveyard synergies. So we, like, kind of have to struggle to figure out what I actually want to get rid of. Yeah, I'm playing an 18th land in this build, Brian, because I'm not playing baubles, because I'm not a huge fan of the baubles. I'll take a basic island, please. Oh, just opt. Deal. Brutal. Fetch land. Again, can't play Shadow because my health total's not low enough. Man, Thief of Sanity plus Temur Battle Rage is technically a combo, huh? Bet you guys didn't know we were playing a combo deck. Show me your Jaces and your Tefrees. Rest in peace that I don't care about. Hey, the Oratog. Thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I mean, yeah, the games where you don't play a third land till turn 6, you probably don't win because of Thief of Sanity, Detroit. But, like, Thief can catch you back up in games where you trade 1-for-1 with a bunch of resources. Is the idea behind Thief. I didn't take the snap because they have a Rest in Peace in their hand, so I want their Rest in Peace to stay off the table for as long as possible. The Snapcaster Mage is also less mana efficient, so the turn they're pathing something, I can potentially choke them on mana, which is appealing. Mana efficiency is a big part of what's going on here. Getting this off stub the Teferi is a big win for sure. Yeah, Thief's looking okay. The problem is that, like, we're just in a position where we can never beat a sweeper. But, like, the fact that they're using the Snapcaster here aggressively means that the Thief, like, potentially gets to get in and do some stuff. So their hand is Cryptic Command, Rest in Peace, and then one card I don't know at the moment. No, I'm playing the Thief of Sanity. We are not a control deck. As the game goes long, my opponent is far more favored than we are. Getting this resolved while they're tapped out and have a Cryptic Command is also appealing. So, if they hit the sweeper, I'm just going to concede, like, good beats. But if they don't hit the sweeper, we, like, have a good chance to pressure them out of the game. They kept the card on top, so I'm assuming I'm not going to have a board here in a second. We've been really bad at not drawing our basics so far this league. Jace, sure. They have Cryptic, Rip, and then one card I don't know. Hey, Shaka Shaka, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. You're shipping your Bezobucks back this way again and keeping me employed here. Sure. If they only have one removal spell here, we get to make them choose between the Thief hitting them and the Death Shadow killing Jace. If they don't have a removal spell, maybe we can claw our way back into this game. Yeah, if you Temur Battle Rage Thief, it does trigger twice. I think the Elder spell is play in Modern? No. I do not. Why didn't they Terminus me on my turn? I'm so confused. Maybe they thought they were on my turn. Do I want to turn this into an extra card off of their deck? I almost think I do, right? I'm basically getting to, like, cantrip this. So they have Cryptic and Timely. Probably just supposed to go bottoms up here. They have a Rest in Peace in their hands. They're probably playing next turn, so I think I'm going to take the Street Wraith and then take a random. And this lets them Cryptic plus Timely this turn. But the stub lets me stop the Cryptic. And then we're hoping to find, like, a Cryptic or a Planeswalker off of their deck with Thief next turn. So their hand right now is Timely, Rip, Cryptic. So they can animate Colonnade here. If I cycle the Street Wraith, it's funny because, like, the Snapcaster could potentially kill them. If I cycle the Street Wraith, I die to this. I think I'm supposed to do it anyways. So now I just attack for 10, I think. If they don't try and Cryptic me and enter combat, I'm just going to attack for 10. And I'm stroking this so I can stub the Timely next turn. And now I have to choose, do I want to try and hit a path? And I don't think I do. So I think I just hit them for 10 and say go. Because I want this as a blocker for the Colonnade so I don't die on the backswing. Did Thief pull us through this game? I definitely didn't think we were going to win this, but I think the Thief might be pulling us through here. All right, and now I can attack with both because they have to chump block the Shadow because it's lethal. Wow, brutal. We were so close too. We're not just dead. The Thief can find a way to beat this Celestial Colonnade. Maybe I'm just supposed to take the Condemn there to gain the life, because then I don't die to the Colonnade. Maybe I'm just supposed to let the Condemn happen, but then the Stubborn Denial's not live anymore. Ha! I should have played the fetch land so they couldn't Timely, huh? But I guess Timely's distracting them from killing me with the Colonnade, so more power to him. All right, need a live one here. I mean, I wouldn't have been in a position for the Temur Battle Rage to be better, Brian, if I hadn't cantripped what I did. So, like, if I hadn't made the play I made, I would have never been in that position to begin with. Cryptic was definitely the best hit in their deck. That is true. I agree with that. We're done here now. Yeah, it got me Serum Visions, which got me through 3 cards, Brian, which was the reason why I was close to being in the game at all. Because it double bottomed. So like I would have just drawn like straight bricks. Grixis Shadow. We didn't really play any matchups for Mausoleum Secrets, ended up being good. Hurkyl's Recall and Rejection were both like quite absurd throughout the whole league. I think I'd probably like another Rejection in the sideboard. I think to fit that in, I'd cut a Secrets and slide the last hope into the main and just get another Rejection into the board here. Yeah, that was 2-0 into 0-3. So I think I'd probably do that. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Update the list on my site to reflect that after we're done here. All right. I should probably restart Moto here really quick. Enjoy the sponsor page for a second. I gotta grab cards for the next deck that we're playing, so we're changing to the next one. We're through 2 decks in 2.5 hours, so that's exciting after a bunch of 2-hour leagues yesterday. For people that are new to the stream, it's been a while since I've done this on stream before this week. I don't have a full collection of MTGO, so one of my sponsors, MTGO Traders, they let me borrow cards from their collection, so I have to go through and place the order on their website and like get my previous order that I have together to return to them. So I can play the variety of decks that we play here. Yeah, we haven't played Griselbrand with the new Mulligan rule yet. I'm excited to give this one a try. This deck's like just inherently very powerful. Believe it or not, that deck's still unplayable even with the London Mulligan. The people who were worried that the London Mulligan was going to make unplayable decks like Narset Cannon actually consistent were silly. The London Mulligan makes decks that were already decent like Dredge better. It does not take decks that are unplayable and suddenly drag them into playability. It was sweet. We had good games. It was a good league. We had a lot of fun. But, like, there were people that were, like, genuinely worried decks like that were going to ruin Modern with this Mulligan change, and I think those people were absurd. Oh. The new Mulligan rule will only be on Magic Arena if it becomes the official Mulligan rule for Paper Magic. It's only being tested or experimented with on Magic Online, so that way people can test Modern for the upcoming Pro Tour. I think it makes individual decks better. It makes individual gameplay better. I asked because it seems like it's not making the decks better themselves. It's just generating less non-games of Magic, but I also don't play Modern, so I don't know. I think the change is just good. I think people are going to bellyache and be terrified of change regardless. I think from my experience playing with it, the change has been nothing but a net positive. I think the decks people have been bellyaching that it was going to make obnoxious in Modern were already obnoxious before the change. And yeah, they're still obnoxious after the change, but the change isn't really related to why they're obnoxious. Every deck gets to do its thing more often, which means the good decks that are capable of racing or disrupting the other linear decks are still competitive and reasonable. I agree with your assessment, even from just watching, that